It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Mikeitz. The question of the week is, how can we be inspired not to be intimidated from obstacles and to forge forward with success? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha Mikeitz, we learn about Joseph going from all the way being a prisoner in prison to rising to tremendous power because Paro needed someone to interpret his dreams. Joseph was able to interpret his dreams, and not only was he able to interpret his dreams, he gave him tremendous good advice how to deal with the upcoming famine. And sure enough, Paro put Joseph in charge of the whole famine that's going to be. Joseph put away the food for the whole of Egypt and for the surrounding countries. Later on, when the famine did start, everyone that put away food, it rotted. They didn't have the talent that Joseph had that would put it away in a way that it would last for a while. And then when they became hungry, they came to Paro and saying, "Paro, we want food." So Paro says, go to Joseph. Whatever he asks you, you should do. So Rashi says, what do you mean whatever he asks you should do? Like, why didn't they go to Joseph to begin with? So Rashi says the truth is they came to Joseph. But Joseph went ahead, Yosef HaTzadik was telling them to circumcise themselves. And they didn't want to listen. So they went to Paro, and Paro said, guess what? If Joseph is the one that saved us from a famine, you're going to have to listen to him. So the Rebbe asks a simple question. How do we know that Joseph was telling them to go ahead and circumcise themselves? Where do we know that from? So the Rebbe explains that we know that God instructed Abraham to circumcise himself and his whole family. So Joseph, that went in the footsteps of his grandfather, went ahead and also inspired people to circumcise himself. The reality is they didn't want to listen to him, but when Paro realized how powerful Joseph was, he encouraged them to respect Joseph and listen to Joseph. The Rebbe brings out a phenomenal idea from this, and that's as follows. We know there was a major difference between Joseph and his brothers. The brothers, all of Jacob's sons besides Joseph, they didn't want to get involved with the materialistic world. They wanted to live a spiritual life. They took care of the sheep. No one bothered them. They didn't have to interact with any outside forces. Life was simple. They didn't want to engage with the world. Joseph, on the other hand, was not afraid of the world. He got involved in the world up to the point he was the whole second in command in Egypt. So not only was he the second in command, and he wasn't intimidated, and he stayed loyal to God and Torah and mitzvot and the ways of his forefathers privately, but even publicly, he would encourage people to do what God wanted, namely, in this case, circumcision. So Rebbe brings out, here's a beautiful lesson in life that we can learn from Joseph, which answers the question, how can we not be intimidated from challenges and forge forward, to be inspired from Joseph? Joseph was not intimidated by the world. And not only wasn't he intimidated, he forged forward with the mission that everyone should be connected to God. And if we think about Joseph, how Joseph can do it, each and every one of us can do the same. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.